Hey guys, Teresa here with Sippie Couture. Okay, so this is gonna be an interesting video. I mean, like, not because it's like, I don't know, something great, but I have a really pretty idea, like just a gorgeous idea in my mind for this tumbler. And hopefully I can make it to be as pretty as it is in my head. So I have a nurse tumbler that I do with magnolia opal on the top and just a really pretty bold, or soft, I don't know, a few different ones that I've done, chunky glitter at the bottom. And it just falls so pretty. Like it ends up with so much depth and like simple, gorgeous, and it doesn't take away from the decals that are on it. So somebody wants that, but they want a beach theme, but I don't want to go full beach. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna combine the two. I'm thinking about going, and I'm only telling you all this so you know what you're in for with this. So that way, if you don't want to watch it, you can change it. And if you want to, you can hang out and see what the hell happens here. So I think I want to do like just a soft, pretty beach ombre, but I only want to do it halfway. I think I kind of want to do like the beach at the bottom and then finish off with magnolia on top. That way it's still that really soft, just gorgeous look that I love. Y'all, I'm sorry, I know y'all are getting tired of this color and seeing me with it, but I just love it. So I think I want to keep it soft on top and go to like just a really simple, blended, soft, gorgeous beach. That I've probably said like 5 times. This will be soft, blended, gorgeous beach opal tumbler tutorial. It won't be that, that's too many words. All right, guys, this is going to be possibly a shit show of just falling glitter. I think I have about 12 glitters that I've pulled. I don't know which one I'm going to use right now, but I know I like the color combos that I have. At the end of this video, I will do my best to remember, and I'll try my best to explain what I put where. That way you guys can follow along if you want to try it or just try your own colors. But the colors I do end up using, I will definitely put down in the descriptions. Also, I'm going to try to do this start to finish, include every step of the process, because I think a few times I was like, you guys know what you're doing, you got this, and someone made a really good point, like, I'm actually a newbie, like I kind of do want to see those other steps. So guys, please excuse me. I randomly work, I work at what works best for me, and it's not quite tutorial friendly, but it gets the job done. So I hope you guys like this. It is so pretty in my head, and I need it to be really pretty on the cup, which I think it will be. So I really hope this helps you guys. I love beach ombres. Blues are my color. So hope you guys like this. If you have any questions, y'all just ask me. Like, send me a message, Facebook me, I don't even care. I love helping, and there's enough of this to go around for everyone. So if you have a question, put it in the comments, message me, like I don't even care. Like whatever you want to get in touch with me, I'm more than willing to help. So, all right guys, I hope I love this tutorial. I hope I love this tumbler. I hope you love the way it comes out, and I hope you like it too. So let's see what we can do here. All right guys, so I'm gonna start with prepping my tumbler. Look, I'm keeping this super real. I'm not going to pretty up this video for you guys, so you're going to see it exactly how I do it, and I know everybody has their own ways. This is how I do it, so here's just a quick little idea. I always pop off this bottom little piece of metal. All that's under it is just that little seal from where they, I guess, made it airtight or whatever. So I just pop that off. I don't really need that in my way. And then I sand my tumbler really good. I actually use an electric sander, and my kind of rule of thumb is get off that, like where you can see the name of the company on the bottom that they kind of etched in there. Sand that off, and that's kind of the rule of thumb I use all over the cup for my sanding. All right, sorry about the noise, guys, but we'll just get this done to help. pretty much it. So what I did is I took the sander, and look, I missed a spot. I'll fix that. I took the sander and kind of like, I didn't quite dig it in, but I went, I'm like all in your face, sorry guys. So I kind of went within the edge right here, went around in a circle, and then I got it all the way around the cup. For the top, I don't ever take my sander and go right around the top because I don't want that top to be scratched off. So if you could see, there's almost like a little ring where you can see where it's still kind of that shiny on the top. So what I'm gonna do is when I'm finished everything, I'm gonna have a little of that metal exposed just to make sure that I have a really good seal on that. So I'm not worried about that being all the way sealed. I just definitely don't want it completely rough. But as long as you take your sander or sandpaper or however you're doing it, and if you just go towards the top like that, you're fine. Like, because the way that it curves, it kind of misses it anyway. So that's kind of what I do. I'm going to fix up this last piece real quick. I'm not going to show that, but we'll take it to the sink and wash it off next. All right, guys, so excuse the dishes, but I told y'all that I'm going to be keeping it real, and part of my reel is not cleaning the kitchen beforehand, so y'all are going to see it all. All right. So this is just Dawn soap. I'm gonna, I want all of that metal that came off, metal, whatever, outside finishing stuff. Not even sure if it's metal. I know it's metal, but I don't know what the hell it is. Sorry, guys. So I got all off. Just clean it off real good. Make sure it's, I really make sure it's off there. And then rinse it off and dry it. Now, when I was sanding, I kind of noticed there was a bunch of kind of white stuff that came off the beginning of my sander when I was really going at it. That is not from the cup. I had to sand a big old oopsie off of a cup earlier, so that was just some of the dust from that. So that didn't come off the cup. Don't worry about white metal, white fluffy stuff coming off your cup when you're doing this little prep step, because that's not what it is. It's just our finishing stuff. All right, so we're all the way dry for the most part. We're gonna put it on my little sponge, and then we'll take it outside and spray paint. All right, we just have like a nasty day of weather here, so I can't spray paint like further out toward my yard. So I'm gonna get this area a little messy. Clean it, I'll pressure wash it later. I'm getting better, making sure I'm in the camera, guys. All right, so just a nice flat white coat of spray paint. We're gonna be doing some paint, and then we're gonna ombre in with the white again. So I'm not completely worried about this being flawless right now. We're gonna flawless that in a minute. All right, guys, so it's dry for the most part. A little blotchy, but I have some other paints that are gonna be going on, so I'm not too worried about that. The bottom of it, I am gonna do a gold, kind of like the sand. So I'm gonna spray paint that. I always do paints to kind of blend an ombre. I always base paint ombres before I ombre my glitter. I feel like it gives better coverage. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna spray paint the bottom and just where I want the sand line to go with this gold spray paint. Because I feel like whenever you're doing that gold, like gold regular, like acrylic paint, I don't get the coverage I want. So we'll do this real quick. Okay, like I said, it's gonna be kind of a mini, maybe like up to here, beachy, so I'm not gonna, wasn't even in the camera again. So it's not gonna be up to here for like a beachy, so that's all I'm gonna do for sand, and I might actually take some of that away because I kind of don't want it too sandy. But all right, let's show you the next one. All right, guys, so this is my favorite part. I'm not exactly sure how I'm gonna work this through, to be honest with you. I have an idea in my mind, but I might have to edit that as this paint goes down. I'm not quite sure. So we're going to try this. The colors I'm doing, what is this? Metallic white. You can use any white. Metallic white. I have Ocean Breeze, an ice blue, blue ice. And then I have this Mediterranean blue. I don't know if I'm going to use it. And I actually took the cap off because I might want just a touch of it, but I'm not sure yet. I'm going to see how these colors blend because I want to keep it super light. Like I definitely want like a Caribbean feel to it. I just know I definitely don't want it white. Sorry, to go too dark. All right, so I'm getting this white on. Whenever I do these base paints, I always start with my lighter color first. I mean, I feel like it's totally okay if your colors blend, you know, if the light gets in the dark, but once the dark color gets in the light, it's a bit more of a challenge, I feel like. And I want to keep this super, super light. The point of this whole base paint thing, you know what, that blue is not going to work. That's a little too shiny. The point of this whole base paint is so that whenever you're doing your glitter, especially colored glitter, I feel like you can see a bit of that white background, the white cup in the background. And I don't like that. I like it to look more of like a full coverage with the glitter. So, man, that one paint, I probably shouldn't have used both metallics on top of each other. All right, so I grabbed a pale blue. Actually, I don't even know if I want to use that other one. All right, so you see I was kind of blending down, like we're pulling some of it down into that lighter color, but it's not a ton. You know what, I'm gonna put a little blue in. Like a little blue in. Because there is one glitter that I'm going to be using that has a little darker look to it, and I don't want it to try to pull up too much of like this Ocean Breeze color. I'm probably way out the camera, huh? That's not too bad. Oh well. All right, so that's already going up a lot further than I want, but I'm going to hit that with spray paint to kind of blend it down, so I'm not too worried about it. I'll go a little more white right here just because that's where I'm going to put my little line of water. I don't mind some of the, like this greeny blue color that's pulling through. I don't mind that, but I don't want too much. All right, blend that middle. There we go. And this kind of helps because it gives you a good little template of where you want to lay your colors whenever you're doing the glitter. Like you kind of, you know when to switch colors when you see your own color switch. All right, so I'm going to take this outside and hit the top with spray paint and make sure it just blends down some because I really want it to be a light fade into that part. The other thing is that this top part is getting magnolia opal, so I definitely don't want these lines to be super, super rough whenever I go on with that. So y'all have no idea how this is going to turn out. Like, it is gorgeous. It's so pretty in my head. I just really hope it translates. So let's go spray paint again. All right, guys, we have thunder. Gotta hurry the hell up. Need light. Doesn't help. I need more light. All right, that kind of softened it up a bit. You see how that, I tilted my can. I went straight right here, and then I tilted my can up a little so that overspray could kind of fall onto that color because I wanted it to soften. I'm not completely worried. I'm gonna hit that a little more. Not completely worried about it. Oh, more thunder. I gotta get the hell out of the backyard. Sorry, guys. I'll tell you later. Okay, that's good. Sorry, squeezing through my chair on my thing. All right, guys, so I'm pretty dang excited. It really did come out just as soft as I wanted. I was able to get that spray paint on there. Like I said, I went heavy. I was gonna try to explain this outside, but y'all, this weather is legit. So I'm not going out there again. So I went pretty heavy with the white on top, and then when I went to go spray, I kind of angled it that way and sprayed. That way that overspray would blend easily. The thing about that is that I'm doing magnolia opal over this whole thing. I always do a fine glitter on the bottom, and I'm using Tack It over and over. I don't water mine down, but I'm gonna put Magnolia. I really want the top to be just Magnolia, and I think I want the final colors to blend up. I really have no idea how I'm gonna pull that off yet. But if it all comes together the way I want, like, pretty sure this is something we're gonna wanna see. This is something I'm gonna wanna know. I'm gonna wanna know how I did this one day. And I guess it's good because I always find out that, like, I make something and I completely love it, but I have no idea what colors I used, so I can go back and look at it this time, I guess. All right, so I'm putting this on pretty good. I mean, you saw me drop it on, I wipe it through in a circle like this, and then I turn it sideways and make sure, I don't even know if y'all can see those lines. Maybe you can, maybe you can't. So then I just wipe it this way, and I can feel where some of the areas are gripping the brush a little more than others. And I really like the way Magnolia Opal softens up colors. So like there's a few harsher lines in here that I said we don't want. Turns out I didn't get rid of it like I wanted to. But that Magnolia Opal, once it goes on there, that line's gonna pretty much go away. And I think that's where I want the very last bit, get off of here, black thing. The very last bit of that ombre to fall. So, all right, we have that brushed on. All right, guys, my heat gun, I dropped it. So, excuse the sound you're about to hear. It's like a brand new one too. I dropped my last one, and when I tell you it died, y'all, it was bad. There's a new one, and it's already bad. Like, look, it's not even dirty yet. All right, so I'm not doing the heat gun a ton. I'm just trying to get rid of, ooh, lightning. There's gonna be loud thunder. Sorry, guys. This weather. What was I saying? The heat gun. I don't put a ton of heat on it. Woo. I'm just doing enough to kind of get this going a little more. I really like working quick with some of these designs. And it would just, I don't know, I don't have the patience, guys. Like, I don't have the patience to let it go. I don't have the patience to let it wait, I guess I should say. So I'm gonna make sure, I want the top of this to really be as flawless as possible. If it comes out like I want it to, then Magnolia Opal on the top will be the end result. Like, nothing else is going over that besides the decal. If it ends up showing how rushed and excited I was to do this, then we're gonna have a plan B and covered up. All right, so I really laid that on there. Look, oh my goodness. It must be pretty just to leave it like that, huh? All right, so now we're just gonna wipe it in. This is one of those things where unless you want the top to look like that, you don't have to use Magnolia Opal. I know some people kind of struggle with this whole tack it method with glitters. You never really have to do some of these steps. I do. I definitely do. I really like that softer blend of colors. So when I ombre something with paints, it's because I know how that paint is gonna look under the glitter. And I know that some glitters are opaque. And, you know, I feel like when I look at a cup, I can tell whether there was a base spray paint color on there or not. And I look back at some of my older cups that some people got, like, to begin with, and I'm, oh my God, it's like the most hideous thing I've ever seen. Definitely don't want to tell them that because then they would notice it. But I look at it and I'm like, oh, that was bad. All right, so for the top part, I'm really making sure I'm like getting it all through there. And you're not pushing super hard onto this, onto the cup. You're not trying to rub the glitter off. You're just laying it down. So I'm going to get that pretty good. Ooh, more lightning. I I have this whole turner thing set up on a battery backup, so if the lights go out, my stuff will keep running. All right, so that tacket's on there. That top is actually great. Now, as long as I don't screw it up within this next few steps, I want it to stay just like that, like so soft and pretty. Y'all, I actually did a guy's tumbler before, and well, I know it was for a girl, but I was like, no, it could be a guy's tumbler. And it was just an idea that we're gonna have to try, we as in me, or you. So here's the idea. So do your paint all the way up the cup, do this over it, and it should be soft enough where once you get that, you know, the next layers of kind of like the beachy wave look, it could totally go for a guy tumbler. Oh, who else is having like crap weather? This is insane. All right, I'm gonna take this outside and I'm gonna spray this clear. Don't know why. Oh, I know I'm gonna spray clear because sometimes my tacket, for some reason, the epoxy doesn't like it at times. I'm not sure what's up with it, but I always give this a clear coat. That way I know it's staying in place whenever I do my next little epoxy step. I'm actually not gonna show you that. I know I said I'll show you everything. I'm not gonna show you that. I'm just gonna hit it super quick with clear to seal it, and then I'll be back to see if I can get this ombre kind of the way I want it. All right, that clear spray paint is done, and dried enough where I'm comfortable to touch it. So I'm gonna go on with my with my sticker and my dye and heat gun, and I always press that in because I feel like in my head it looks like it's part of the cup. Oh no, I just like the way it looks. All right, we're gonna mix up epoxy. All right, guys, 1-to-1 ratio for epoxy. This is how I do it. Please don't judge. I don't know if that was lightning or my light's flickering. I have no idea how much I mix. I never have any idea how much epoxy I mix, but I always have more than 1 cup going at a time, so it's easy enough for me to use this epoxy. Like, it doesn't just sit there. Let me put this away before I drop it again. I feel like the 2 things I can't live without if I'm doing this is, besides the obvious stuff, is like my heat gun and my torch. If those go out, y'all, I am done. All right, so I'm not gonna have y'all get stuck watching me mix this for a bit. I will get this done and then put it on a cup that I need over there, and then be back to show you guys how I'm putting it on this one, and we will try this ombre that I have in my brain. Okay, still mixing with lightning and thunder. I was just kind of thinking when I was mixing this, I don't baby my epoxy, guys. I always use the heat gun, and like I said, this is just what I do. I know people do it different, do it whichever way works for you, but I use my heat gun to help transfer it because I know that that warms it up a little, and for me, I like mixing epoxy better once it's kind of slightly past that room temperature stage, because I feel like it'll just mix better. The other thing is that, so when I'm mixing, you kind of see how I mix it, and I'm not completely soft with it, and I keep it on the table. There's times that, like, towards the end I'll pick it up, but I honestly feel like the times that I've held this cup in my hand and mixed my epoxy, I had a lot of bubbles. If I leave it on the table, for some reason, I don't get as many bubbles. Whether I'm paying more attention or I'm not paying attention, it's working, I have no idea, but I really feel like the times I pick it up is when I have problems. So I have that mixed pretty good with my little metal stir stick. And I do find a difference. I'm gonna go with a popsicle stick because I feel like I'm able to scrape the sides a little better with a popsicle stick. I really feel like I've seen such a big difference once I stopped using these popsicle sticks for the full mixing. Like, I get a lot more bubbles with popsicle sticks than I do with the metal, But I use my torch. Like I said, guys, I use my torch to get all those bubbles out, so I'm not completely worried about it. All right, I think we're good. There was one time I went to go mix it like this, and I was like, obviously not paying attention, and I was like scraping the sides of my cup, and the popsicle stick broke, and like, y'all, this epoxy went everywhere. It was funny. Don't tell my husband I said that, but it was pretty damn funny. Oops, I'll clean that up too. All right, so for this next bit, I'm not gonna put epoxy on the bottom of my cup. I don't want my glitters to stick to the bottom because I don't want to have that issue of the cups being unlevel, because that drives me freaking nuts. And this is, what epoxy am I using? I am using Aluminite Clear Cast Plus, the UV formulated one, and I haven't seen any issues, y'all, with yellowing from this one. Nola has Nola glitter has an epoxy that came out. When I tell you I'm excited to use it, I can't wait. But I feel like I need to burn through this other stuff. And I always, except for now because I'm out, I really love working off of quick coat epoxy. You know, like anything that sets up quick, just because I like getting to that next step. I'm pretty impatient, and just that cure time kills me when I can't just, you know, turn a cup around pretty quick. So I would be using that, but I am out. I don't know. I was so excited because Nola's coming out with their, you know, a fast set or speed coat, I think they're calling it. And I was so excited to use that. I was like waiting to see when they were going to release it. And I was not even paying attention to how much quick coat I had in stock from Stone Coat Epoxy. And I ran out. And I ordered like 2 more gallons of it, but it is not going to be here in time for anything, it looks like, with this weather, because it's been held up for a few days, which I completely understand. I'm not complaining. Just now I'm stuck working slow, and I don't like working slow. All right, so this is a part that I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do here, because I have a few ideas. Sorry, add your cup. Stepping on stuff. All right, I kind of have 3 golds that I like. It is Beach Girls, Grace Bay, Athena from Peachy Olive Glitter, and Gold Mine from Nola. And I kind of think I want, like, I like the white that this has in it, but I like the mix of the chunkies that's in this Gold Mine. It's great. It's like my go-to gold. But this Athena, I got this in, and kind of offers something a little different. So I'm actually gonna see what happens here. Actually, you know what? I don't think I want too many bigger pieces for this sand. So look, guys, and this is where I get completely random. This is where someone asked me, like, what colors are those? And I'm like, oh God, I don't know. I kind of know what I did. Okay. Let's try this. Let's see. I love it. It's like those little pieces are just flying up on me, and it's like it's blending for me. How great. Look, it's like doing its own ombre. Do not ask me how I got it to do that. I have no idea. Usually it does that when a kid comes running through my my room, and then I curse at him. Because I'm that mom. Oh, see? I'm like laughing glitter. But this kind of went on its own. I love it. All right, the thing that I think I'm gonna struggle with the most is that I usually do full cup beach scenes. Like, this is gonna be definitely my first, like, kind of mini. So, is this what I wanna do? Yes. Yes. All right, this is Wingless Bay by Beach Girls Glitter. They have a Sunset Beach little collection thing. And it is so pretty, guys. Like, all the colors in there is just so pretty. All right, so what I'm doing is I'm going heavy along the line where that kind of fell, where that glitter fell up. And then I'm sprinkling it up and down, like up and down both ways. I went sideways to fill in that line, and now I'm just extending it up. And I'm okay if this glitter gets, you know, this one kind of falls a little more throughout the cup, because the thing is to have it be water. So the more it kind of travels up, it'll look like that glistening water type. So I'm fine with that. All right, put that away. I'm not done with that white, but I need it to move. I don't know what color I want to do next, y'all. Okay. I feel like I need like a Caribbean photo to go off of. This is Poseidon Jr. from Nola. Whenever I do these ombres, if I'm doing like a one color section, I'll take it and go like just sideways with the cup, but I want it to blend more, so I'm going on an angle. That way, you know, there aren't no real streaks. There aren't any real streaks going anywhere. I really probably should have had a better plan for how I want this. All right, let's try this one. Let's go Hermes from Nola. I think that's the thing with some of these. Like, I don't quite know the direction it's going until I get the color on there, and I'm like, oh yeah, I didn't want that one. Like, that's not the color I wanted. And like I said, we're going for like a super soft Caribbean is what this bottom needs to be. So let's see what Lakeview does. I have like a certain set of colors that I use every time I do beach ombres, but kind of wanting a different setup. So all right, so this one I'm dropping each one of them a little higher than I did the last, and I'm like barely letting anything out of here. Like, I don't know if you can see it, it's like such a fine mist coming out of there. Mist, I don't know what to call it, guys. All right, just going with brake tag because I want a little blue, but this is hard. This is probably one of the more difficult ones that I've done. Yeah, I'm really gonna have to let it go. All right, I'm gonna have to come up with the recovery plan because I can see this one's not quite, I brought in too much blue. All right, it's not bad, but I brought in too much blue, so I'm not using this one again. All right. This is, what is this? Mint Lake from Beach Girls. I'll get a beach ombre going, a video going for you guys where I do the full thing, because I know exactly what colors I use. It's so hard to mess that up. Like, it really just comes out so pretty each time. I feel like I'm just kind of lost with exactly what colors I want. That top is definitely too harsh so far. All right. Honeymoon Beach by Beach Girls Glitter. I'm gonna drop that. I'm gonna go back sideways because I still want the color to kind of gradually change on me. I feel like that blue really ended up being more than what I wanted it to be, so. All right, I feel like now some of the color's coming back. Yay! All right, so I'm going sideways just to fill in where I know some of that blue landed pretty heavy, and I'm sure you guys saw it fall and was like, oh shit. Because that's definitely what I thought. So I'm getting that in there so that it kind of has like a nicer blend to it. And I'm gonna put this back. I actually don't want any more blues. I feel like that's too blue. I need a green. I need like a oceany green color almost. All right, oh, sorry, this is Jesus Mix from, Jesus Mix from Beach Girls Glitter. And that also comes in that, that set. A lot of these, like, I'll kind of lay colors in a certain pattern and then I really bring all of my colors and let them fall into the other sections. Because I feel like whenever you're doing those beach ones, it's like the flawless way the beach kind of gradually falls is because everything's kind of mixing, you know, like the water's going in its own direction. So it, like it mixes together. So I bring all of my shades to mix together through it. And that line right there is way too harsh. I might put on a glove and see if I can try not to make a mistake with it. This is Will-O-Wisp by Feather Bear. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it. I don't quite have a plan, but I know it's a color that I'm looking for. And it has some of those bigger pieces, so it can it'll give me a bit more of like that textured depth color. Ooh, big thunder coming. I'm so ready for summer. I'm over this cold. Like, I think that's why I'm probably so dang excited for this. Because I am just over it. You know what? I think, I don't know if I'm going to make a mistake here. Now that I have it, it was really good in my head, but it didn't fall the way I wanted. Wonder if I should put a glitter over that and let that ombre down. You know what? I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to have to find a good one. Okay, I'm going to pick one out. I'll be back. All right, I'm going to go to Sultan's from Nola Glitter. I've never tried that one. Heard amazing things and seen a bunch of pictures of it just being so gorgeous. So I'm going to try it. Wipe off that paper on my leg a little. I'm telling you guys, y'all are just y'all are getting exactly what happens here. All right, so this is why I'm doing this. I don't like seeing a giant line in my ombre, especially when it ends. I just don't like it. So I'm thinking I can stop it from traveling with Sultan's. I'm going to put it on fairly heavy, ombre it down, and that should stop it from going everywhere. Oh my God, that's so pretty. Y'all, look at Sultan's. So I put magnolia opal under glitter sometimes because it's always going to pick up that base. Holy crap. Wow, guys. My goodness. Oh, this is perfect. All right, so I always put, not always. I like to put magnolia opal as a base on some stuff because it kind of like dials down some of the color and you can see the shift. I don't like that line. Oh, that's horrible. Oh, that's so bad. Because I feel like it kind of, you can see the shift under some of those colors and I just love how pretty it comes out. Y'all, like, I've seen someone use a picture of someone that said they used Sultan's in place of magnolia opal and I almost couldn't tell the difference. Turns out Sultan's over magnolia opal. Holy moly. All right. I feel like I need to come out with a plan besides just covering that ugly spot with a decal because that is not what I'm proud of. I don't like that. I don't like it. All right, I'm gonna try to soften it. Actually, you know what I'm gonna do? Some of the colors my epoxy was too thick for this layer. And I'm seeing that because you can see where this cup wants to kind of soak the glitter in. So that tells me those spots is definitely where my epoxy went on too thick. But I'm really not used to working with you know, regular epoxy as, you know, for the epoxy method. I always switch to stone coat, which I know is not that big of a deal. I mean, kind of the same thing, but oh no, not used to it. All right, so I think what I'm gonna do is lighten up this part with what I used right there. Problem is that I don't know what the hell I used right there, besides more white, which I don't want to do. You know what, this almost looks like a beach burst. I wonder, oh my God. Y'all, I wonder if we shifted this up and then did white at the bottom like a beach burst. Ooh. Future me. Future me. Okay. So I don't want that harsh break right there, so I'm gonna soften it up. I probably should have put this thing on the other side, huh? Okay. Be patient, guys. Trying to help you see it. Welcome to my shit show. All right. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe not. Okay, well, maybe my hand just won't be in the way. I don't know. Y'all gonna be like, some of her cups come out good, but I tell you, she doesn't know what the hell she's doing. All right, so I'm gonna try to blend that. All right, Miss Nola, Rachel, if you end up watching this, you'll know what day I did this because I'm gonna message you probably immediately and say, go put Sultans over Magnolia Opal. Over a white spray paint base. Holy moly. All right, so that Caribbean thing that I want, I really like some of those greener colors that come through. So I'm adding that, you know, kind of up and down so that it does go everywhere. And this color is, I don't know what color this is. I'm going to guess that it's either Honeymoon Beach or Mint Lake. It's definitely one of those two. My lids are mixed up. It's the thinner of the two. It's the thinner of the two. It was this one. And this looks more minty. So I'm guessing it was Honeymoon Beach. And that is how I operate, guys. All right, so I'm gonna do Mint Lake now because I want it, like my whole goal was to have it slowly go into the top. There's gonna be a nurse logo thing on here. So I know that's gonna cover part of that. And then the back is gonna be kind of a list of stuff. So it'll take up that spot. So I'm always worried about my ombres because I don't like that. I don't like that line. I like that softer transition, but I don't quite know if it's start over worthy or not. All right, this is Wingless Beach again. I'm going back in. I'm going to drop that right here at the bottom, kind of my water line, because like I said, I definitely went on too thick with the epoxy method for the glitter. And I'm sure some of you were seeing that. You were like, girl, slow down, not so much. So now I'm trying to make up for what I did. And I went sideways to give you my big water line, and now I'm just making this go everywhere. Because like I said, the water's, I mean, it's kind of gives like that watery look, but I mean, water's all over the water on the beach, like that shoreline area that lightens up. At some point, I feel like having your colors drift is what gives it a good blend. And then I really liked some of the color that Hermes brought in. I don't know if you guys have tried that, but they have like, can you see that in there? It's like a bluish, and some of the colors pick up a green, and it's kind of perfect. It's actually not kind of, it's like really perfect for this. So, you know what? I bet you if I would have done this color first on there, that probably would have went better. I think what I may do is sprinkle some of this on later. You know what? I'm not going to sprinkle it on later. Okay, well, this is where I'm at so far. Trying to think if I didn't grab any other colors. The colors I did use were Hermes, Lakeview Junior, I think. Do I have to go back and watch that? I'll make a list. I'll make, you know what? I'll make a list because it's gonna take too long. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10. 11, 12, 13. 13, counting the golds, for these colors right here. And I think this is where I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna walk away and see what I think about it in a few minutes, because it's still too harsh right there. Like that line. Oh, I know what I can do. I know. Got it. All right, so Poseidon has like really silvery blue. Oh, please don't mess this up. I hope this is a good idea. All right, so I don't want to go up and down because I don't want lines. And I'm not going to go sideways because I don't want to make that line worse. But I'm going to go kind of like angled. Please work. Okay, I'm going to get on my tippy toes because I'm short. Okay, you know what? Oh my God, that's it. Okay, I'm going to bring this all over the whole cup, because it's softening that line, but it's also tying in some of those colors from the top along with the bottom. And the whole time I kind of wanted that softer, gradual, change of colors. And yeah, I think we just got it. Y'all, look, that line is gone. See, told you, shit show of falling glitter. Like, it ends up looking not all that bad. I know-ish what I'm doing. I think I like that, guys. Like, I think I like that. All right. I kind of want some of those big flakes, but I don't want to commit. I don't want to commit to this. God, I wish I would have put this on first. All right, so next time I'm going to do this again. I'm going to do a beach burst, and it's going to be amazing. And I'm putting this on first. That way those big pieces will stick to the glitter. Will stick to the epoxy, and it will, they won't fall off because I lost too many of them. And that is part of this that I'm loving. All right, I got to let this dry a little, cure a little, and I'm going to see how I can add this in there because I want it. All right, troubleshoot time. All right, guys, I'm back staring at my cup. I pulled up a few photos, and I want more of like a teal to go through here. Like, I want it to be a little deeper than that, but definitely not that blue from last time. This is Zircon from Feather Bear Glitter. I'm gonna see if I can just sprinkle some in, and I don't really want to ombre it in any certain spot. I think I just want to drop a little, and hopefully it can fall in enough to give a little more depth. Uh-oh. You know what? I'm gonna switch that one. I'm gonna switch that one out for Tulane Junior. I pulled this one earlier. I'm not sure if I used it. I'm definitely gonna go back and watch this video and try to figure out all the colors I use so you guys can get a good list if you wanna do something close to it. Is my hand in the way? No-ish, maybe. Okay, I promise the next video I'll have this on the other side. I don't know why I didn't think of that sooner. Okay, I definitely want to keep it in the middle because I like the way that top part blended out. And one part I don't like right there. I don't like the part at all. I'm gonna try to knock some off. Let's do it. Okay. Trying to figure out what to do. Sorry guys, trying to figure out what to do. I have I usually dump cup by glitter color. I have the times that I forget to switch out my paper, I at least keep kind of that same color family going. And there's so many cups where, you know, someone wants me to recreate something and I actually can't because it's just like it's a random batch of the colors that happen to fall that day. And then like if I need to do kind of like a geode type cup with a bunch of colors in there, I'll take one of those dump cups. And I mean, the cool part is that it ends up becoming just a completely custom one. All right. As long as that doesn't fall off, I think we're good. And I'm still not too happy with how some of those lines are completely solid. I think it's right here. But once I get my decal down, I can put that right there and take care of that spot. So that's it. I'm gonna let this go through and cure just for a little bit to make sure that glitter's really stuck to it. And then I'll take it outside and hit it with some clear 2-time Rust-Oleum spray paint just as a sealer. All right guys, so this has been going for about 2 hours. I'm gonna go ahead and give it just a clear coat of spray paint. That way when I go to put my next layer of epoxy on, it doesn't move this ombre at all because I don't want to mess this up. I don't want to go too close with my spray paint because if you do, just the pressure from that coming out is going to blast off some of that color. You usually lose a little color when you're doing this, so hold it back a little. Okay, I give it a pretty good burst because like I said, I just don't want that color to move. One of the things I did do when I was taking this off my turner is the end areas right around there. I took that glitter and I kind of just did that little piece going around it to make sure it's laying down because I don't want those pokey edges to come around the top or bottom of my cup whenever I go to do that next bit of epoxy later. I don't want the pokey parts of glitter to just completely get in the way. So I go through, I tap it down, and I'm actually going to put a little more spray paint, let it dry for a little bit, and then I'm actually going to do this again because like I said, I don't want to mess this, I don't want those colors to shift at all. Okay, so there's that for now. All right guys, I have this sprayed pretty good with clear Rust-Oleum 2-times clear gloss spray paint, and we're going on with the epoxy now. So I know I said I wasn't going to use Nola yet because I didn't want to bust it open, but I had something else that I wanted to try it for, so we're using Nola's. And I just coated another cup, and y'all, all right, I'm kind of excited. So this is a 1-to-1 ratio. You know how whenever you go to pour epoxy over glitter, you can kind of feel the glitter through it? There's times with other epoxies that I'll mix it and I'll let my epoxy sit for just a minute to kind of thicken up to get it to where I want, so I kind of use a little less of it. Y'all, I didn't let this sit at all. Like, I mixed it and it is such, I love it. It's like my fingers gliding over this and I'm barely even touching the glitter, which is pretty awesome because whenever I'm doing ombres, I'm so worried about, you know, kind of, what it would be, smearing that ombre, I guess, you know, like dragging your glitter. That's why I spray it so many times with that Rust-Oleum to really make sure it's sealed into place. But this is like thick enough where I'm going right over it. I know a lot of people say that don't scrape the inside of your cup whenever you're doing, whenever you're putting on the epoxy, but I mixed this and I transferred cups a few times, so I'm totally comfortable, you know, kind of scooping it out of my cup with my finger. Oh, I'm excited. Usually there's like bubbles that definitely has to be popped, and y'all, there's none. Like, there are no bubbles. I'm going to hit it with the heat gun just because that whole better safe than sorry, but there are no bubbles in this. I'm pretty excited. All right, we're gonna let this turn, fully cure, and then I am actually gonna do some waves over this. So we want this to be fully cured before, you could probably go over it before it's like fully. I'll give it till tomorrow because I have more stuff to do tonight. So this is gonna sit for tonight. I'm gonna come back tomorrow and get to the next steps on it. All right, guys, so we're back with day 2 of this mini beach, whatever we're calling it, tumbler thing. And just real quick, my son should be getting off the bus pretty soon, so I'm sorry if he runs in whatever mood he decides to run in. So I also switched my camera to the other side. Hopefully I'm not in the way so much this time. So where did we leave off? We put on that layer of epoxy, just one layer of epoxy, just enough to get our glitter to kind of stay in place. So that layer is not flawless. Like, there, you can definitely feel the bumps through it. I'm putting another layer on top just so that my next set that I'm doing with some alcohol inks and micas will flow a little better. You don't have to, well, let me rephrase that. So there's a few designs that I do where I don't want my inks and my colors to run together. I want them to flow, but I don't want them to touch each other and really blend. And that was like an LSU one that I did, like that purple and gold. Those colors do not look pretty when they touch. So whenever I do those, I don't put down this layer of epoxy. For this one, I definitely do, because you'll see how it does. It does a little flowy thing. And there's so many really good beach tutorials out there. And I wish I think one of the girls' names is Heather Looney. I'm so sorry if I'm pronouncing that name wrong. But hers was great, and that's how I first figured out how to do some of these, was watching her video. And it was so easy to follow. And she made a few good points, like, you can't get it wrong. You know, if you don't like the way the alcohol drips on there, you can take it off. Like, take it off, wipe it off, and you're good. So this epoxy that I have, I just mixed up a 1-to-1 ratio. I put a little in my cup just to make sure that my inks are going to be flowing around. And now I'm filling each one of these little cups up with just a little bit of epoxy in it, because I'm going to dye this. Well, I'm going to drop micas in here, but I'm going to use alcohol inks kind of freely on there. So a little bit happening. Let me grab all of my stuff that I should have had together for you guys. Sorry. And I have a few colors pulled that I think I'm going to be using. Kind of don't know. I mean, I'm still in the same spot that I was. Nothing has changed. I'm in the same spot where I'm kind of liking the colors. I still want a little more green, but I definitely didn't want to go back in with that green glitter. I know I went back and forth before with dropping in some more of that turquoise. Definitely decided not to, just because I didn't want to completely overdo it. So we're going to give, this is just Alumilite dye. Just going to do a little drop, because that's going to be the white that I want for my waves. And then the micas that I'm using, that I'm not quite sure. And like I said, man, when I do my normal beach one, I know exactly what I'm doing. Like, I have my colors picked out for that. So, I mean, there's no confusion. Like, I got it. But since I'm stuck on the colors and the direction I want to go, I pulled a few and we'll see how it goes from there. Okay, so that one that I just used was turquoise. It's just a little thing that I got from a set. I think I picked it up at Michael's, maybe. Nola has a bunch of glitters. I'm going to go with this, goodness. Micas. I'm going to go with this jade green. I don't even know if this is going to be a color that I want to use. but hopefully once it's in the little thing, you know, it doesn't come off as green. I'm just using a tiny bit, like if I can get a tiny bit, if I can get a tiny bit, I'm just using a tiny bit. All right, okay, so I'm dipping it in and kind of like shaking off of whatever's left. I'm gonna go with that. I mean, we can always add more. We definitely cannot take this away. So I have turquoise, jade green, and I'm going to do lake blue. Let's see what happens with these three. And then we'll go from there. Ah, get off. Okay, so still just a little bit. I have 2 extra cups of just epoxy sitting right there that I'm not gonna put dye in yet. I'm kind of undecided on what I want to do with the colors. So let's wait and to see how this goes on and then decide if we want to add a different one. Mix these up. I really tried to get to this video earlier today, but I don't know what happened, guys. Like, I have no idea what happened to today. It's Friday. And I mean, I'm happy it went a little quicker, but definitely a little faster than I thought it would. So hopefully I won't get completely stuck with everyone walking in the door at the same time. I don't know if I'm gonna like the color. See, look, I was going careful. That might even disappear. Yeah, you can't even see that. All right, we're gonna do more. That's how I roll. It's on there. It's on there somewhere. I mean, it wasn't enough to show too much. You can see a little. Well, I can see a little right there. All right, let's try a little more. Oh, that's too much. All right, that might be too much more. Well, that should definitely, actually, once that mixes with the turquoise, maybe we're good. I'm using Nola's glass coat epoxy. After I said I wasn't going to open it, you guys were with me when I used it for the first time yesterday. And I am kind of amazed with it right now. Like, whenever I do decals and you're doing glitter, you can always feel the glitter and the decals under that. Well, I had one cup that had to be ready for this weekend, and I just went for it with some of that epoxy, and y'all, like, it's done. It's good to go. Let me get some gloves. I put it on there yesterday. I think it was like, well, I'd say overnight. I don't want to say the hours. It was definitely overnight before I touched it this morning, and it was like, you know, not tacky. Like, I could move it off my turner and set it aside because I was kind of panicking. I didn't know what I was going to do about getting that one out. And I forgot a baby wipe. Okay. All right, so we're going to start with the alcohol inks and dropping on the gold. I kind of like the way, like, it kind of swishes around with the gold, kind of like that mixed up sand started sliding. So we're going to start with that. I guess they sand and water. And then we just like squiggle it on. And I don't want this too heavy on here. Just went on the bottom of the cup. I didn't put any epoxy on the bottom of the cup. I didn't do it this time because I don't want it to be too thick. So whatever falls on there, I can just go through and wipe up a little later. All right, so I have that down. And I don't know if you're gonna be able to see how awesome this is once it all picks it up. Like, if you haven't tried this, you definitely have to. And I'm gonna drizzle in some white. I'm gonna want this to be a little heavier right here because I'm doing more of like the beachy waves for this part. I'm gonna bring the white up a bit, definitely right here. And I'm still kind of on the fence of how exactly I'm gonna land that. I know I wanna bring it up because I'm still hoping to have this as like that mini beachy ombre that I was thinking. But you saw how bad my plan went yesterday, so we'll see how it goes today. All right, so that is the white dye that I just put on, and now I'm gonna go in with my alcohol inks. Now the thing with this white alcohol ink for a lot of these that you'll pick up is that it's a mixative. So if you go to drop it on, it's gonna be weird. It's gonna be super, super weird. And it says on there that it's a mixative. There's a few that are like that, and you drop it on and it just ends up as one giant glob, and then you're trying to figure out what you did. So just double check that before you do it. I'm going with pearl right now because I like the way that pearl mixes in with that white. It's almost like some areas of the water stays at pure white and some just really get mixed in. So we're gonna drop it and then just squiggle it. Like you see how it's kind of coming up on the ends, almost like it's foaming. Well, this isn't foaming, but almost like that, you know, like the water at the beach, how it foams up, I guess I should say. It kind of has that look to it. So that's how I have the pearl, and I'm gonna go in with just the white now. I said about some of the whites kind of just sticking. I don't want it to happen with this. We'll drop it and see how it goes. So this one isn't a mixative, and you can see how it kind of spreads on there. And then I just stretch it out. Like, you see how it's doing that? Look how cool that is. Try to steady it for you. Look, it's dividing up just like it's the water. And then you just run this through here and just squiggly it. And it'll kind of give it like that beachy foam areas. Now, if there's a time where like I want a little bit of white, but I don't want it to take over, I'll drop it on here first and then I'll kind of run it through. The thing with this is like we have that really white, you know what, yesterday I kept saying wingless bay. It's wine glass bay from Beach Girls. And I realized that after, I was like, which one is this? And I was like, oh my God, I'm such a dummy. Like, just goes to show, like, the cups are pretty, but chick doesn't know what she's talking about. All right, so I have that piece right here, and I really like that. Like, I don't even think I'm gonna mess with it. I might run something through it later, but actually, you know what? I'm gonna run white through it now. Because like this, you can see some of the bubbles. You can see where it's really white, and you can see where the pearl ran through. For that other part, kind of just stops right there. You see it? So I'm gonna run a little white that way. Like the white's a little more consistent. It doesn't just look like that blob. I usually like my cups turning that way when I'm working on them, but I feel like whenever I do these, I end up doing it this way for a bit, and then I swap it and go that way, just because it's kind of easier to pull the stuff along rather than like push it, if that makes sense. Okay, so look, we have those little waves going here. I'm gonna let this part set up for a bit, and then I'm gonna go through and I'm gonna scrape some off so you can see some of that glitter in there, because it's really pretty. And then I don't want that too far, and that has to blend more. I don't like straight lines. Like, I don't know if that makes any sense, but I don't like when stuff just ends. Like, I don't like to see like a clean break, unless it's like one of those intentional split designs where you want that. I'm not a fan of seeing just like, I'd rather it go softly than just be like, nope. All right, so we're gonna put some of these across. I'm gonna start with this, the lake blue, and I'm gonna bring it along the bottom, because like I said, I still want it to be fairly light, but I definitely want more of that color. And the cool thing about adding these micas and all of this on top is that it gives it all just such a different look. Like the depth that ends up coming out of it, it's just so pretty. I'm gonna run it all the way through, that way it's like, it'll give that little depths everywhere to it. It's you guys probably can't see it that great through the photo of it, but it's like little pearly streaks in here. It'll be one of those where you'll be able to see it, like once it's all cured, you'll be able to see like kind of like the runs of it through here, And that, just that little bit will give it that depth we're looking for. You know, like that variation of color, but it also isn't like big weird lines. Oh yeah, this jade was a good idea. Okay. I was a little nervous putting it on, like, should I even be using it? All right, so I'm doing the same thing. I'm gonna squiggle it through. I'm gonna make sure I don't go too much on that line, on that ombre line that I absolutely hate. Because I do want that to soften up a bit. So I'm gonna keep that lake blue and drop a little of that right there again, like a little heavier. And then probably go in with a little white and stretch that up. All right, and then this one is turquoise. And I'm not gonna use, the thing with these is like, I like the way that it gives like that clear added color to it. So I don't wanna, like, cause I don't wanna cover up that glitter. The glitter under here is just so pretty. Like I want it to peek through, but I don't want it to be where you see more of the color over top instead of the glitter underneath, if that makes any sense. All right, and now I'm gonna see what we can do about dropping these inks on. I've done it a ton before. I always absolutely love the way they pull out, but I don't know if I'm gonna love it for this. The good thing is that if you drop this on, if you decide you don't want it, just scoop it out. I mean, the stuff's flowing anyway, so it's super easy to scoop out. This is aqua, and I'm hesitating because I don't know if I want to use it. I want aqua or pool? All right, I'm gonna go with aqua because pool's a little dark and I don't know if I want to commit. Yes, I do want to commit to that. Okay, so change of plans. We are now using pool. I do all my work over parchment paper, so it doesn't even matter if this gets all nasty. I just clean it up. I pick off, my boys will come sit in here and they, like, if they're talking to me, they'll pick off little bits of oh, that's better. Oh, I think I want it greener though. They'll come in here and they'll like pick off the little bits. They think it's fun. But if I have like a final coat on a cup and if they come and pick it, I will lose my shit. They're like, I'm sorry, I didn't know. All right, so that's not bad. You see how it did that though? Like it definitely gave a bit more color. Look at that green where it mixed in. Okay, look, so you see that line? I don't want that line. Turn it the other way too. There we go. So I don't want that line. So we're gonna just squiggly it out. And actually, while I'm right here at this step, I'm gonna go ahead and add in my white because I do want the white through it a little so it won't be like just right here. So I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna drop in like a tiny bit. And I'm just gonna do the same thing, just kind of like squiggly it through. It's funny because for Heather's video that I was saying when she did hers, she kept saying this word and she was like, I couldn't tell if she's saying she fusses with it or she like fuxes with it. It was really funny the way she said it. And I was like, you're saying you fuss with it a bit until you get it where you want it, or like kind of mess with it a bit? Like either way, I like either word, but it kept cracking me up because I couldn't quite tell what she was saying. I mean, I would prefer probably the other word, but I'm gonna try to not. It's just more of how I am. I'm just gonna try to not use it though. So I'm just gonna mess with it. I'm gonna fuss with it until I figure out what I want. Okay, so you see how it brought that right there? Like it kind of broke that up. Like it kind of looks like waves, but it isn't just that blob. So it's easy enough to pull it around. And I'm gonna go, actually when I drop in this top, let's do that now. I'm gonna drop in this pearl at the top and I'm gonna go fairly, make sure I have the pearl in my hand. I'm gonna really go with the blob because I want it to transition into that softer top. Like I said, I'm just really not happy with how that ombre fell. And if I kind of mess and pull some of these around, and if it mixes up enough, you can totally play it off. And I think that's where I said in one of my other little videos, like, coming to realize that I know what I have in mind for these designs, but no one else knows what I'm trying to do. Like, they just see that little end result. And as long as I don't point out what I did, no one knows. All right, I am going to put, there was one spot I saw that this pearl would help, because now it's a heavy pearl right there, and it's almost like too light right here. Oh yeah, that softened it a bit. See, and this is where, you know, if you don't like that color, just scoop it out. I'm actually okay with everything. Every once in a while I'll take my, I'm wiping off the tip of it, just because, like, if you go and do this right here, you're gonna pull that gold up to the top, and I don't want to do that. Which I think this is probably the one time I'm actually just leaving that alone, which is probably pretty good. All right, so that's like a big old blob, and I don't like it that groupy. I think that's it. I think I said before, I have a decal that's going on, oh, that's weird. That's gonna go on that top part, so that'll help blend that across. Let me see if I can pull this up a little more. Tell you what, one of those colors swirled around right there. I don't know if you can see that. And this, like that deep one, that's really cool. I wish I knew what did that. Let's see. Oh, it could have been this one. It could have been pool. Whenever you're like adding to it, like don't add over your cup, because if it gets kind of gets away from you, it's gonna go right on there. That line's weird. Okay, so you can see where, even where I dropped it like that, you can see where it kind of went. So I'm gonna make sure all of that is just spread out. I think I'm gonna take a little, I don't really want a lot of this white all the way through it, but let's see. So I'm gonna get a few like random dots and then stretch those out, because I feel like a few little ripples through there wouldn't be a bad idea, but I'm not about to commit to a blob. Oh, it's like that. didn't want that to happen. Okay, so watch, we're gonna take that out, and probably that. See, and this is where I need to learn to be like, okay, I'm happy, let me walk away for a minute. All right, I'm gonna toss these waves around. I'm gonna go through and take out any of like that big old glob. I don't want that. I don't want those dots to keep in their spot. Okay, I think I'm pretty happy with it. So now, and this is, I mean, none of these steps you really have to do if you don't want it on there, but I want to see that white glitter. And I want to see if I can take this out without completely ruining it. So I'm going to pick some of the little parts that maybe I don't completely love and pull this out. You know, I did a few of those spots. I probably should have left it, huh? See, y'all probably right there like, what'd you do? It was great. I'm going to add white right there. One of the other really good things about this is that I've done a few like this before where I wasn't completely happy with it after I came back to it later. And within a few hours, hey bud, within a few hours, I was still able to get to it and add in or take away stuff that I wasn't too crazy about. And what I did was I just used my torch to kind of get it, I guess, to move a little. And then I added some of the alcohol, and then I actually took the, I added alcohol inks, and then I took the alcohol little spray bottle, pump bottle that I have, and I sprayed it. And it was enough to kind of like move it back into place. I used the wrong one. All right, I think we're gonna leave that for a minute and see what happens. And I'm definitely gonna, you know what, let's blend where these, I'm gonna push some of this gold into the white so that it kind of looks more of a little mixy, because after looking at it, it had that line, and I just don't like clean cuts in it. I want it to go a little more flowy. All right, so this is still turning for a bit, so even how it looks right now, it's not gonna look like this later. And I'm kind of feeling like I probably will mess with it and then regret it, to be honest with you guys. Like, I have parts in here I love, and I have parts in here that I'm like, eeh. All right, so one of the really, really awesome things about Nola's epoxy that I'm finding is that I am not getting any bubbles. Like, they are popping. Like I said, I'm pretty aggressive with my epoxy. I definitely mix it, like run it through pretty good. And then I usually torch it just in case. But I put it on kind of thinning it out in layers. Like, I'll put the epoxy on and I drag it around the cup so it isn't quite just getting plopped on there. And I've noticed that in doing, like, the way that I lay it down, I'm not getting any bubbles from it. Like, I'm going and I'm torching just in case, but y'all don't even have to do that. And the really good thing about this that I can see so far is that there's no bubbles in here. Like, there aren't any, my grammar, y'all. There aren't any bubbles in here. So if I took my torch on this, right now, it's going to heat up that epoxy and it's all going to start flowing. I don't want it to flow anymore. I like what it's doing right now on its own. I don't want to force it to move, so I'm not going to add heat, which is great, because the parts that I really like I want to keep as long as I don't mess them up. I'm going to make this be my last little drop, and then I need to walk away. It was one piece of white right here. Look, it's like just all cloudy. It's all cloudy. I want a little more wave, so I'm just going to squiggle some more white in. And I'm going to leave that, I think. I'm going to make myself leave it alone. Okay, I'm done with this. So we're going to let this go and spin around for a bit and cure. I'm going to make sure this is completely done before I do my next step. And that will be sanding it and getting it ready for a decal. So that's it for this. All right, guys, I'm sorry I lied. I was standing here looking at it, and I put a little white through here, and it tied in the way I wanted, so sorry. Told you I wasn't gonna leave it alone. Trying. All right, so now I'm just adding a little more white in, and I kind of like that better because it's almost playing off that really big line that I did right there. And as long as I'm squiggling it through, it still kind of looks like those waves. But I don't want to do this too much because I don't want it to just be a jumbled mess. I want it to still kind of go and look like it's washed around, I should say. I promise I'm almost done with this step, guys. Probably shouldn't believe that either. All right, I'm gonna turn it the other way just to see how that looks. It's too wiggly today. I mean, it looks cool, but it doesn't continue anywhere. Like, it just stops. Okay, so now I'm done. Ish. And I'm sorry if you guys are laughing at me. Like, I can't be the only one who's like halfway done half the time, who just can't walk away. All right. My son was waiting for me to bring him out to a friend's house one time, and he was like, "Mom, you said you were done." So I'm gonna be done. All right, I'm gonna leave that alone, and then we'll be back after it's fully cured to sand it, which will be tomorrow, because I'm not going to touch this again today. It's, I don't know, maybe 4 o'clock. So I'm going to leave this alone, let it fully cure, because I don't want to get to it too soon and mess anything up. So that's it, guys. We'll see you for the next step. All right, guys, I think we're at like day 3 of this, right? So all of my, real quick, it's Saturday morning, all of my boys are home. Some of them are still sleeping, so I'm sorry if they if it gets a little loud at some point. I'm gonna do my best to show you what I can to help you guys out, and then I might do some of the sanding of this kind of off camera. So I have this done from yesterday, and it actually came out just as soft and pretty as I was hoping. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna clean it up. I need to put 2 decals. One's gonna be a big one that kind of runs down the back, and the other is gonna be just a small circle around the top. So what I'm doing right now is I'm trying to figure out exactly where those decals are gonna go. I have a big piece of gold glitter that I forgot to pick out. It shifted on me and I forgot to pick it out. So I think I'm gonna have that be the back, just so I can cover that. And right here, I really like the way it kind of drops down a bit. So I think I'm gonna put my circle here. That way it's not like squished into a white section. I'm fine if it overlaps that. I definitely don't wanna cover up some of that texture, but I'm okay if it overlaps it a little. So I think I'm gonna go right here. So I need to make sure this is very smooth. And this whole back section where my decal is gonna go is really smooth, because I do not want any bumps to show through my vinyl. The first thing I usually do with this is I give myself a clean rim. Like I said, there's a lot of ways that everyone's doing this. You pick what's best for you. This is what I do. I have a little razor that I keep by my sink, and I just go through, try to do this on camera. There we go. And I kind of run through and just scrape off that top edge. I don't have it completely tilted down because I don't want to scrape that glitter. Like I definitely don't want to take a chunk. One time I was doing this and I went too much and it lifted up some of that glitter, and there was a gap that I had to fill in. So I'm just trying to expose like a little of that rim right around here. Okay, so that top is cleaned off. Let's go inside now. Sorry, I'm gonna try to turn this. This is where I said before, like I always stable my cup by holding it like against me. So I'm sorry if some of these videos get a little weird in that aspect. And then I take, oh, I don't have steel wool up here. All right, I'm gonna pause it for a quick minute so I can go get some. Okay, sorry about that, guys. I usually keep everything right by my sink, but my mom came over the other day and helped me clean up, so I have stuff kind of everywhere. So I have that scraped off the top, and it's still rough around the edge right there. So you can do 2 things, and I kind of switch depending on how it's working. I'll take, what is this? 220 grit, but this is fairly worn down. Like we've used this for a ton. So it's not even, like unless you grip it on the side, like it's really not even super gritty. So I'm taking it and I'm not like gripping around the end, but I'm curving I'm kind of pushing down enough where my finger's gonna have that part slide away. And then I just kind of twist it around. Then I'll take a sanding sponge, because I know that kind of softened that edge, and I don't want to go at it really hard with a rough piece of sandpaper and really lift it up. So I do that just to make it smooth, and that will really help me get this stainless to show. So then right here, I'm just kind of on an angle. I'm just going to go around the whole cup. All right. While I'm doing that, you can see, maybe you can see how you can see the stainless right there, and there's kind of like a not so much right there. I do my best to get that even amount of stainless to show all the way around. That way it kind of has a little more consistent look. That's not getting covered up with anything again. That stainless is going to show at the very top, just so that when I put my epoxy down, I get a really good seal around that top, because I'll take my epoxy and kind of drag it over just a little. So I want that to show. Okay, so that is kind of the top of it. So then I take my steel wool and I want to shine that up, because it's going to have, you know, have that little brushed look from being sanded. So then I take my steel wool and I fold it over a little. And I just go around. And it's fine if this gets all, if it gets against right here, because that next layer of epoxy is going to shine this all right back up. Gotta try to figure out how to do this for you guys where you can see it without, or I can still do it, but you can see it. Okay, so I have a rim that's very, very small, like a super thin line, and I'm gonna clean up the inside now. I have some acetone and a napkin, and I go through first and I wipe out the acetone, you know, whatever overspray I have right there. So I'll get that.
Mom, this kid has spikes.
Okay, someone does not have real spikes in my house, guys. There's not a kid running around with spikes. My kid is playing Rocket League. All right, so I have that wiped out. I got off the most, you know, a bit of that white spray paint. Where's my knife? Where's my little blade? I'm working on like the other side of my sink. I usually work on this side, but for the sake of you guys, I'm trying not to keep my hands in the way. I switch to the other side, and I'm telling you, when I move anything around, I just get like I'm backwards. All right, so I have that wiped out with the acetone, just with the napkin, and I'm gonna go through with a magic eraser and throw it in the sink, because it works best down there, right? All right, so magic eraser, and you can still see where some of that overspray has the cup white. So I have a magic eraser. This is a dollar store magic eraser. I don't know whatever brand it is. I don't know if it's BG or DG, Dollar General, whatever it is. Anyway, it's a pack that I got from there, and I find that it works just as good as the other one. So I take it, I rip it off, and I go through the inside of the cup, and that's how I really feel cleans off like any overspray that just definitely won't come out. So I have that, and then I'll go in one more time with my acetone, because whenever you do that, some of the acetone will drip off that magic eraser and kind of like have run lines down there, so then I'll clean that out. And this is pretty much how I'm going to clean the inside of the cup for now. After it's all done, I'll go through and clean it all again. And now I'm going to go through and do my other, you know, stay on the spots where I want the decals to go. Make sure the edges are smooth, because that sometimes that glitter gets a little pokey around the bottom. I don't know if I said it on the video, because I feel like I don't remember what happened that day. But as it was, you know, going around, I was pushing up, and whether, I'm not sure if I did on video or when I saw it later, but I kind of pushed, when I pushed up to make sure it was curved around that edge. And then I said I want my decal to go big on this side and right here. So let's make sure that's not going to give me problems with ripples. I'm pretty sure this sanding sponge is a 60 grit. Now this isn't completely cured, because like I said, we did the epoxy yesterday. This isn't like 100% cured epoxy, but I've kind of done enough of these to know that I can sand it at this point right now and not do any damage to it. And don't worry, like I said before, don't worry about it getting, you know, any scratches in it or looking dull, because that next layer is really going to shine it up. All right, so I'm actually going to stop the video right here. I'm going to do the rest of this off camera just to save time, and then I will show you with the decals. All right, guys, so I have the I have that sanded down, and there's a few spots. Since I didn't put my epoxy over it, some of the alcohol ink from the gold did drip down, but that's easy enough to clean up with acetone or alcohol. So I'm going to go through, clean up the bottom, make sure that's wiped off. And I have 400 grit, and I'm just going to wet sand to make sure it's smooth. I kind of gave that sandpaper, kind of like ran it over the whole cup, but I really focused where I wanted the decals to go. So the cup isn't completely smooth. You can feel a few ripples from how the inks and dyes, like where they fell, but it's going to get another coat. So I'm not too worried about that right now. Y'all, I'm like brave. I'm doing this before I even had coffee. We're hoping to have a family day, so I figured if I can get a little bit of this done now, I can pay attention to them for the rest of the day. Okay, so I'm just double checking to make sure that actually is as smooth as I wanted. I still have the plan to put the decal right there, so I sanded really good this back. Where is it? I'm gonna have to find it again. Right here. Right here and right here. So that works out pretty good. All right, I'm gonna clean this off with some soap and water, dry it off, and then we'll be ready for decals. All right, guys, we're gonna do our decals now. So I kind of messed up and had my setting on my Cricut, so I don't know, freaking turbo mode, and I cut the heck out of the circle part of my design, so I had to weed that off camera, but I think this one might be good enough to show you guys what I do if it helps. So now I'm just trying to find the smoothest part to put my decals on. I still want that circle to go right here because I just like the way that fell. And that will be the back. I always line up where I want my decals to go with my lid. I feel like it helps me get it even on the cup as far as like the front and the back. There's times where I kind of felt like I had it down and I went ahead and put my decals on without the lid, and y'all, I was way off. So I'm trying to get in the habit of doing it just in case. Putting my lid on so I'm used to it. There was one spot I sanded down so good. I think it's right here. Okay. Wasting your time. Sorry, guys. All right, so let's go. Oh, I feel like that's bumpier than I would like. That part's good, though. That part's really good, but that's where I wanted my front to be. Sorry. I'm gonna fight with myself for a minute. Okay. That's it. Sorry about that. Crazy person. Like I said, I had that already peeled off. And I'm just lining it up. These decals so simple. Seriously, I feel like I've done about 50 of these this week. So I'm kind of knowing right where I want it to go. I'm going to squeegee it, get out all of those, make sure it's all out. And I'm going to pull it kind of close. That way it doesn't get any bumps in that decal. So there's the front and the back. Oh, I forgot to pick out the inside of that E. All right, so some of these I feel like it's almost hard sometimes to get some of the vinyl to pull up. So this is what I do. Uh-oh. Y'all, I really love Tech Wrap, their line of metallic vinyls. It's so pretty. It's easy to weed. I just love it. But they're gold. I don't know. I feel like it's too yellow for some of the time. Some of the ones I want. So I couldn't use it for this. I had to do the Cricut one. And I don't know. Sometimes it's amazing and sometimes I just don't know what I'm doing with it. Whoop. Give it. Okay. Hopefully that's the only part that's not going to be my friend. All right, so now I'm just kind of pushing down, rocking back and forth to kind of help loosen some of that up. And I know this is where, you know, some of the better transfer tapes wouldn't do this, but I use this contact paper for everything. And like a few pieces sticking throughout this is, I found no, I feel like it's worth it. In my mind, it's worth, the price is worth it. Especially how much transfer tape I use. Oh my goodness, I break the bank on transfer tape. So this is working for me. And it's just a big old roll I got off Amazon. All right. Oh, look at that. I almost didn't even have that long enough. All right, let's put another piece right here so I can get this to stretch, make sure I can grab it a little better. And I'm gonna line it up on my cup. There's all these great ways of how to measure it, but I don't know, this works for me. You're gonna be able to see this. All right, I kind of hang, since I have so much extra at the bottom, I don't mind having it extra at the top and bottom because I feel like it gives me a place to grip with. And I know that I can line this up, like set it on rulers and really measure it a lot better. But I've done a ton of these. I'm fairly confident with eyeballing it, so that's how I'm gonna roll. All right, so that's down. Gonna rub all that straight. Making sure I get a pretty good grip on it before I go over it with my little squeegee, because I'm just aggressive with stuff sometimes, to be honest with you. And there was one time I was doing it and I like completely went through this contact paper and messed up my decal. All right, so all those bubbles are out. Sorry for the placement of the cup, but it's about all I can do. Oh, I love it. I'm pretty happy with that. That H slid, so I'm gonna reposition it a little and take out my E. Put that on my pants. If y'all saw my floor right here, it's hilarious. All right, so that's the back. Look how cute. Isn't that funny? That's the little front of it. So that's that. We're gonna get a final coat on this. I'm super happy with how it's turning out. It's definitely like the subtle that I wanted, and like the beach doesn't distract all the way from the cup, from the design. I'm pretty excited to get this under epoxy. And guys, I've told y'all I should have waited to open Nola's epoxy, and I didn't. And now I am obsessed. Like, I have done so many coats, final coats, like over decals with just one coat of that epoxy. I mean, usually with the clear cast that I use, I have to do 2 coats. Like, it just thins out if I don't wait long enough. Like, I'll mix it and I'll wait with that amazing clear cast. I'll mix it up and wait to like for it to thicken up a little, and then I'll use it. And every once in a while I'll still have to go on again. This one, like one coat to cover a final decal, is all I've been needing so far, and that's pretty damn exciting because, like I said, I'm used to working with my quick set, and I'm out. So this glass coat has been amazing, and I need the speed. I need the speed coat, speed something they're calling it. I need that. So I'm gonna fight you guys for it when it comes out. Let's go get final layers of epoxy on this. All right, guys, final coat, or what I hope to be the final coat of epoxy is going to go on now. Once again, I do not know how much epoxy this is because I just mixed up a decent batch because I had about 4 or 5 cups to do. So I'm getting this on here real quick, and then this will pretty much be the end of it. I'm pouring this in and definitely smoothing it out. I feel like the less that I pour at one time and the more I smooth it out, the more those bubbles will kind of work their way out of the epoxy. And then I'll hit it with a torch just to be sure any extra bubbles that maybe I'm not seeing are popped. I'm not going to, if this happens to need another coat, I'm not going to video that. It's pretty simple, nothing that I can't just explain to you guys. So what I'll do, if there's any areas that maybe decided to reject the epoxy, or if I got any fish eyes or like any dimples or anything that I'm just not loving, what I'll do is, if needed, I will sand out, like lightly sand out, just to make it kind of a rough surface around it, like kind of sand over that, like a dimple or something. I'll sand that, and then I will spray it with just a clear gloss spray paint. That way, well, sand it, wash it with Dawn soap, water, dry it off real good, and then kind of hit it with a clear coat of Rust-Oleum 2x clear gloss sealer. That way, and make sure that dries pretty good, and then go ahead and go on with what will then be the last coat. But like I said, this epoxy is pretty incredible. What piece of glitter floating up? I think it's like messy right here, so I don't know how I did that, but I had a little speck. Like I said, this Nola's glitter that I went ahead and just opened, it's fairly thick. I love the way it sets up. It's setting up pretty thick where when I'm putting it on, I'm not feeling any of the decal or any of those bumps that was in here before. So I'm pretty confident that it's not going to need another coat of epoxy, unless my boys decide to run through my room and kick up dust, or a fly gets in here, and hopefully that won't happen. So that's it, guys. Get that last coat on, torch it, and then that's it. I mean, besides the fact of, you know, my original plan not quite coming out the way I wanted, I'm actually really happy with it, because I know that we wanted a subtle beach look. We didn't want it full beachy. We didn't want that color to go all the way to the top. We just kind of wanted it to slowly blend right there. And I'm so happy with some of the colors I came together for this. And that's it. Hope you guys like it. Hope this helps. Like I said before, I'm always willing to help anyone. So if you guys ever want to message me or comment or anything, just let me know. I don't mind. I'm always home doing this. My best time is during the day. I know a lot of people work. This is my work. So I'm always here. Just message me if you have any questions and I'll get back to you. All right, guys, thanks for hanging out.